Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
It is hard enough being homeless, relying on food banks and charities for shelter, but many women are suddenly faced with what's called period poverty, struggling to afford basic sanitary products. High street retailers Boots have now started a new initiative encouraging customers to give donations. But campaigners want more big businesses to get involved, saying access to hygiene and sanitary products should be a basic right. Our health and social care correspondent Victoria MacDonald has this report.
You've lost your home, your job, you've been beaten up, and then there is one more indignity. Women bleed. It's a fact of life, and they need sanitary products. But those in poverty, those who are homeless, often cannot afford them.
For me to get access to sanitary products, I had to essentially beg and ask friends and family. Failing that, you have to request with a food bank if you're female that you don't have access to these, and sometimes they may be able to include them within a food bank, but it's not guaranteed.
Sarah, like many women who find themselves homeless, had to flee an abusive relationship.
I was bleeding for over a month after I left my ex. If my friends hadn't provided me with these products, then I wouldn't have had any, and I would have been forced to use whatever I had available.
The last thing Sarah had thought about was the cost of what many believe is a basic human right.
You can either beg, borrow or steal, or some women are forced to put their lives in danger and use unsafe and unclean products, from fabric to tissue paper to, even newspapers. I've heard some people have had to use, which is shocking, and it's fundamentally dangerous.
The beg, borrow or steal, indeed, is a theme in Ken Loach's latest film, I, Daniel Blake.
Excuse me, madam. I think you've been shoplifting.
Caught shoplifting. The most basic sanitary products. Period poverty is hard to measure, not least because it hasn't been, until recently, talked about. But 26% of people using homeless services are women. And 5.1 million women live in poverty in the UK. For many, every penny and pound counts. In Parliament earlier this month, the impact on homeless women was raised by the MP Paula Sheriff.
Sanitary products are simply unaffordable for thousands living on the streets, an issue raised by the campaign The Homeless Period. Could the leader commit to a debate so we can discuss ways to relieve degradation and embarrassment faced by thousands every single day?
Yeah. The recently launched Homeless Period project has already led to Boots, the chemist, encouraging in-store donations. But Laura Corriton, who also ran the End Tampon Tax campaign, says this is just a start.
The original Homeless Periods campaign wanted to see individuals donate to food banks and homeless shelters. So we thought, to make that more sustainable, we'll potentially get big businesses and multi-corporations to donate, or to put in place donation programs to help homeless people. But potentially the next stage is then to get government involved, and if the government can then create their own donation program.
I hope in the future that basic feminine hygiene is recognised by the government as a human right, and not stigmatised and classified as some kind of luxury at a woman's expense.
Victoria MacDonald in that report.